Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making my classic garden salad. This is my go-to salad and my usual everyday salad for lunch. Once in a while I'll mix it up and make a variation like a Cobb salad or a Southwest chicken salad. But for today, this is just my go-to when I'm trying to use up the produce from my Misfits Market box. And the first thing I always do is prep my lettuce. I don't buy prepackaged salad mix. I always wash and dry my own lettuce greens. That way I know that it's been done and that they're clean. And I usually double or triple wash them. How I wash the greens is I fill up my salad spinner about 2/3 full with water with the basket and the lettuce in place. Then I mix it around with my hands just to knock loose any dirt because most of my lettuce comes right on the root bulb as you saw me cut off earlier. And because of that, I know there are some particles of dirt in it, so I just do that to knock them loose. They then fall through the sieve and into the bottom and I dump them out with the water. So I'll fill it up again. And as I fill it, I kind of gently stir it around just to make sure that there's no dirt trapped in any folds or anything, crevices in the lettuce. Then I just mix it about again gently. Whoops, I missed a piece of root there. Just get rid of that. And I'll swish it and pull it apart, and not too hard because I don't want to bruise up all the lettuce leaves, but just enough to make sure that it really is squeaky clean with no dirt sitting in anywhere. Then I'll lift it up, let the water drain through, dump the water again. And then I usually either do a third washing or I just do a third rinsing over the sink just to make sure that I've got it all rinsed off and ready to go. And that's what I'm doing today. Once I get it rinsed, I shake it out and put it back in the salad spinner. And we're ready to go. And you're about to see what happens when you don't put your lid on tight. That's right. We'll try that again. And I always spin my lettuce out multiple times just to get as much water out as I can. If I'm prepping for the week, I'll usually spin a larger amount of lettuce, maybe 2 or 3 heads. And I will store it in a gallon freezer bag with most of the air removed, and the paper towel will fold it inside just to soak up the extra moisture so the lettuce doesn't go slimy. And it usually keeps like that for a good 3 to 4 days, and I usually eat it up within that time frame, so it works out well. I've also heard good things about like these kind of plastic boxes that you keep in the refrigerator. It's similar to like an extra crisper drawer, and I might check those out too just to cut back on my use of plastic bags. Every now and then I stop the spinner and I rearrange the lettuce just to make sure it's all getting dry. And then I usually set it off to the side so I can keep working. And now I'll start working on my salad dressing. Now I do not always make my own homemade dressing. A lot of the time I'll just use the bottle dressing, especially if it's a work day and I'm on like my lunch break and I have limited time. But today I have a little extra time, so I'm just going to make one of my basic vinaigrettes. And I mean, there's a million different ways to make vinaigrette. You can dress it up any way you like. I'm just going with a simple lemon one. So I'm going to cut my lemon in half and get juicing. 1 lemon is usually way more than enough. And then I'll just grab one of my smallest mason jars. It's one of the ones I use for like apple butter or something small. And if I fill that up with dressing, it usually lasts me a couple days. I don't make too large of a batch because it always tastes better when it's fresh. Just toss those greens around a little. Spin it out again. And then I'll start on dressing. So I've got my jar, olive oil. The best ratio is about 2 to 1 oil to your acid, whether your acid be a citrus juice or vinegar. Dijon mustard works nice in there as well, but not today. So I've got my lemon juice and olive oil, and then I'll just season it up simple with a little pepper and salt. Little Himalayan pink salt. And then just to counteract all the tartness, I'll put a little squeeze of honey. Now, I'm using an imitation honey today. I'm doing it to cut back on my sugar intake. Another reason you might want to use an imitation one is if you're maybe vegan or have any other dietary restriction. You could also substitute like an agave syrup or sweetener of your choice. And I just give it a good shake. Shaking it up helps emulsify the dressing, and then each time I reuse it, I just give it another shake. And to see if it tastes like I want it to, I usually just scoop a lettuce leaf out, dip it in, and give it a try. That tasted good enough to me, so I'm just going to leave it where it is and cap it up. And there's really no set measurement on the sweetener. I just do it to taste. Some people like a sweeter dressing, some just like a teeny little bit just to take away some of the sting out of the acidity. Next, I'll start prepping all the salad vegetables. And I'm going to start that first with a mini cucumber. I got several of these in my Misfits Market grocery shipment, and I like to use them up quickly because they're usually one of the first things to go. They're so awesome for salads, though. They come out in the perfect little bite-sized pieces. Unlike the big cucumbers where I have to like half or quarter them first, these are just perfect in the little rounds. So I've got those done and I'll put them to the side, and then I'll begin prepping the scallions. Roots off, and then I just do a small slice about 2/3 of the way up, or maybe even a little less. I do this because in transit some of the ends get like kind of torn and bruised. So I really like to just have the best part in my salad to make sure it's the freshest tasting that it can be. Next I'll do my tomato. This one I got out of my crisper and not out of my Misfits box because the ones I got in my box were just a little bit underripe. So I tossed them up onto my AeroGarden deck just so they can get some sun and ripen up. And in the meantime, I still had some left over from my grocery order, so those are what I will be using right now today. And for the next few days until the other ones ripen up. And I just get those into bite-sized pieces. And my cutting board's a little tomato juicy, so I'll just wipe it up. Then I'll move on to mushrooms. I had some mushrooms left over. I made some pizza for the game this weekend. And then I still had about half a container left, so I'll be using those in my salads for the next couple days just to use them up, because waste not, want not, right? I also have some broccoli florets. I like to throw some of those in just for a little texture change, Plus they taste great. And my board's usually pretty dirty after the broccoli with all the little floret pieces, so I'll give that a rinse and a wipe. Then I'll move on to the bell pepper. I won't use the whole thing on the salad, but I will trim it up, and I'm planning on making some stir fry tonight, so I will just toss whatever is left over into my stir fry. And I'll just clean the ribs out of there. And then chop it into nice bite-sized pieces. And all those pieces I'm putting off to the side on the cutting board, those will be for dinner. I like to do a quick cleanup as I go so I'm not left with a huge mess at the end. So I'll just dump some of those scraps out. And then it'll be time to work on assembling the final salad. I like to use a pretty big bowl because I like to eat a pretty big salad. So I start with that and then some of my lettuce leaves. If they look really big, I'll tear them into bite-sized pieces. And then I'm also going to mix in some organic baby spinach. I've been keeping this on hand just because I've been low in iron, I'm anemic, and also it's just a nice texture change from the lettuce, and it tastes great too. Couple extra lettuce leaves, and I think we're all set for our bed of lettuce. And I know most people like toss and toss and toss their salads. I like to make a composed salad, and what that is basically is I just arrange the salad in the bowl. And I usually do that by just putting the toppings in sections. So first I started with my broccoli, and then I added the cucumber. I try to go for a color balance too. However, today I have a lot of green items, so I'll just have to break it up with something else. We'll add in some mushrooms. Then we'll do the tomatoes over on the other end. Then some black olives just to kind of pull some of those green sections apart and make it interesting. Go for some green pepper. Tuck that in there. A few more olives just to break things up. And then we'll go for those scallions and get those in there as well. Now that's like my basic. Then I add a few more toppings in just to shake things up and get some texture going on. Start with some sunflower seeds. Those always taste so good in salad, and they add like that little nutty goodness and a little bit of a texture change, so I'll put those in the center. And then sometimes I like a touch of sweetness too. So I've got these reduced sugar dried cranberries, and I don't put too many in because I don't want to like load the salad down with sugar, but just a little sprinkle just so you catch one here and there. So there it is, my completed salad. I really hope you enjoyed making a salad with me. Maybe you picked up some tips and tricks to use in your own salad. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care and have a great day. And don't forget the dressing.